Greetings everyone, welcome to another episode of Inspire and Inquire. Thank you so much for joining me once again. You are locked into week 13 of this spiritual journey I'm sharing, and I'm so glad to have you on board. I'm very excited about this week because I stumbled upon something that really bugs me. Let's take a look. It's Romans 14 verse 23. But if he has doubts, he is already condemned if he eats, because he does not eat out of faith. Indeed, everything that is not out of faith is sin. As I said before, I read this and it bugs me because, I have so many doubts about so many things. And I didn't necessarily equate doubt to equal to sin. I always knew about fear, killing faith, but not doubt being equal to sin. So if you look at the word doubt, it means without conviction, right? And if you look at the word faith, it means completely trusting. So I can see how you have doubt, you're not able to exercise faith, but then how does it become sin? So I had to really look into this. And what I found was that doubt can be used as almost an intuition. When you have doubt about something, it's not necessarily to hinder you from doing something, but it's nudging you to investigate further. For instance, I know when I go to the supermarket, there's always like long lines and two cashiers working. And I always doubt that these are the only two cashiers open. I doubt it. And I walk around, of course, and there's a cashier all by herself towards the end, and I get checked out faster. So it was the doubt that allowed me to investigate and find truth for myself. And I know a lot of times we tend to do the right things because we're told they are the right things, and we're not investigating the truths. We might have doubt in it, we're not really sure about mommy says so, or daddy says so, or auntie says so, or pastor says so I'm just gonna do it. But this scripture is telling me that doing something just because someone is saying it's right or someone is telling you to do it is sin. You could be doing the right thing and still sinning because you're not exercising that action in faith. And how do you exercise it in faith? You use the doubt to help you to investigate. So for example, if I'm not so inclined to, let's say, eat meat, and it's something I was always given as a child, and it's something that I've heard is good for me in terms of protein, but I have doubts about it. But I continue to eat meat and eat meat and eat meat. I could actually be doing an injustice to myself because I don't really know why I'm eating meat. If someone was to ask me why I eat meat, I can't explain it to them. If I were to get repercussions from eating meat, I wouldn't have a reason for it. I'm just doing it because that's the way I've always done it. And the doubts that I'm having, I might be pushing aside, because sometimes we push our doubts aside thinking that it's going to bring up this fear, and therefore we're not able to exercise faith. But to me, doubts actually can empower you, because it reminds you that, listen, there's something more to this situation. There's something that you need to look at so that you can be convicted and convinced, and therefore act accordingly. All right, so faith is complete trust, right? And I think sometimes we mistake when we say having blind faith as not having doubts. You can't see God, that's true, literally with your two eyes. But you can see him in another sense. You can see him in yourself, in the trees, in the wind that blows. You can feel him, and you can't necessarily see faith. So yes, faith can be seen as being blind. But in terms of knowing why you are exercising faith, I think is also that other part of the coin that we tend to neglect. The Bible also talks about, the simple mind are the ones that follow anything, right? But the wise are the ones that seek information. I think it says the simple believes everything, but the prudent gives thought to his steps. So I would encourage you to investigate your doubts. Don't push them aside. Don't be afraid of them. embrace them, see them as a tool, a guide, intuition, and act upon them. Find out why you're having these doubts, seek more information, get the real truth, so that every action that you do is from a place of faith and without doubt and without sin. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's all I have for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week on Inspire and Inquire.